Okay, I had to use a credit card to get my way in, but I did get permission because the key works for the deadbolt, but it did not work for the knob, and the knob's locked. So it looks like they have an insulated panel on the door, on the garage door. So somebody does stuff working out here apparently. Now that doesn't mean that the walls are insulated, but the way it looks, I'd be surprised if they weren't. I don't see a scuttle hole to get access to the attic. That is unusual. It depends on when they built this, but it'd be a requirement now, because if they insulated the ceiling, they're not going to go through the gables. Anyway, so somebody's doing some shop crafty whatever out here at different times. Alrighty. Okay. This subdivision has a mix of architecture and mix of exteriors. You'll find some all brick stuff, you'll find all vinyl, you'll find front side brick. It really just depends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in the car and breaking the law. Going to drive you by so you can see the little itty bitty lake they have in here. I think that's a cherry tree on both sides. Probably won't have cherries, but the birds are singing. We do have wildlife around here. You'll get deer in the subdivision as well. That's a big barn right there. Oh, someone built one like his neighbor. I showed that property about 2 years ago. That was one of the... You've had smoker houses, people who smoke tobacco. That house was probably number 1 or number 2 most tobacco smoke I've ever smelled in the house. My clients could not last, one of them couldn't last more than 3 or 4 minutes. It was crazy. It's a nice rambling little subdivision. out in the boonies. General construction, there was a guy who just owned, gosh, several thousand acres around here. He started, so he developed and built most of the houses in here. We're coming up to a little lake area. Mostly what you're going to have is geese on here. It's a nice, cutie little thing. And the ones that back up to it cost more. I think they need a fountain. I don't think they have one on the other side. Almost looks like a cedar. So it wraps a little bit around the backside there. Got a fair amount of split foyer floor plans. They're not highly desirable architecture. They're very functional from getting a lot of square footage for the money out of a house. But it was pretty much sometime in the 90s when they stopped building them because just the market didn't like them that much. Like right there's one. Couple ways to get into the subdivision. It is a pretty good sized one for being out in the country. And if you look where we are on a map, it's in a pretty good location for North Murray County because it's really close to the getting access to the Saturn Parkway is the nickname, but it's I forget the state highway name. Everybody just calls it Saturn Parkway. Because before Saturn, when they stopped building Saturns in Spring Hill, GM owned Saturn, and they stopped building those. So then they build like Cadillacs and engines and transmissions, all kinds of stuff. And they just opened a $2.3 billion battery factory for everything going electric down the road here. I think it's co-owned with some Korean company, if I'm right. What are you doing? So this is pretty much the entrance. Oaklake, have an amazing day. So we just drive for about, I don't know, probably 5 to 7 minutes to get to that parkway. And literally when you hop on the parkway, it's 1 mile to I-65 if you look at it on the map. So it's a real good location, and you shouldn't have to fight a ton of traffic because the density on this kind of run to get you to the parkway, the density's real low. So it gets a little tighter once you get about a mile or two from it, but even then it's not really super dense. There's a cool park up here where my boy, when he was living here with his wife and our 4 grandkids, it's really neat for little kids soccer and stuff like that. It's just about 2 miles from here. But anyway, I'll stop yapping at you. Go take some Dramamine after all my shaky phone work. See ya.